As the wind erodes and the water corrodes, altering everything we think we know, but we don't. It's all temporary, and it used to, but now the thought doesn't scare me or keep my feet from following one after another until I slumber. Then my mind, not my feet, wander and dream of people and places I'll never see again. I've mended as much mental anguish as I can, and now I language to take these thoughts from my head to my pen. Cause though I don't speak of my dead friends or the circumstances, often the blow never softens or yields. I'm in a desolate field, lonesome stargazing, night blazing, chasing traces of remembrance and reverence of relevant friends and acquaintances, and faceless and nameless names and faces. And while my mind is racing through these photo albums and quotations, all these people and places far from me, for only land and stars I see when I'm outside of the mile-high city, which is not my city, for I was born 1,000 miles northeast of there in the land of beer and lakes and pistol fire on MLK's birthday, where there is no minorities and segregation's mandatory. But that's a whole nother story altogether, and no matter the weather or hardships that any place brings, I'll still laugh when people shiver and say it's freezing, or say, hey, no wait, I already had 18 mixed drinks, but I guess it's a Midwest thing, and I'm a mess from a dirty city and brought most of this filth I've gathered with me.
Welcome to another week of Experience Andy Weins Live, and this week we're going to dive into hiring, firing, and promoting people within your life. That's right. You have the opportunity to change the people that you are around, not necessarily change the people that you are around, if you get what I'm saying. Change the people, hire, fire, promote accordingly, and we'll learn about that coming up after the verse.
My work labors on as lovers sleep in each other's arms, remaining calm and collect. I begin my self-reflection process of redemption. Honestly, I don't know where this road leads, or if I'm even going. Could be rowing upstream, or worse, chasing my dreams to the peak, to finally be somebody doing something with what I have, rather than saying again and again that I can't and I won't anymore from this day forward. Cause Lord knows the past is set in stone, the present is yours to mold and to use for future uses. I know I'm a nuisance, I'm told, cause I'm neither young nor old, nor giant nor gnome. I don't sleep on these streets usually, though I've made thrones of my own. I don't sit well with idle hands, though don't know what to do when I'm home all alone. I'm a menace thrown from society, and as it lies to me, I'll smile silently as others do as they please. I am watching and listening, and I'm grinning all the while, cause sometimes all you can really do is smile. So as the work labors on, I'll keep on singing my songs, and this day is never done. We just keep on spinning around that sun, and well, through all these miles and trials, all I've learned to do is smile. Is to smile.
Here we are, another week to gather together and experience life together, learning something new to get out of this fixed mindset, out of this victim mindset, out of this limiting self-belief mindset. So today, we're going to transition that mindset into growth, into opportunity, into seeing things from a new perspective that you might have already had a fixed or formed mindset about. So today, we're going to be talking about hiring, firing, and promoting people within your life. Beforehand, we will always start with a moment of gratitude. I take this moment to express gratitude because it's like the red car. When you think about a red car, you see a red car. When you think about gratitude, you find things to be grateful for. So today I'm grateful for, I have two buddies. I threw a party this last weekend on Friday. My brothers and my buddy Eric and I threw a party. We've thrown these parties for years, and it's been a few years since we've had one, and we threw a party. And I was talking to another friend, and she was like, hey, how many people showed up? And I was like, well, both my friends. right? I've had two friends really that are true friends, right? I did an analogy recently of what is a friend. A friend is a person that you've been to their house and they've been to your house for no other reason other than to spend time together. And when I did that analogy, it's like two people, and that's good. I'm happy. So my buddy Eric, who threw the party with me, and my buddy Tyler, who I went to, who's been a friend of mine this weekend, came to the party. We also went to a concert Saturday in the Packer game yesterday. So I'm grateful for two people that have accepted me in my life, and we are truly friends. There's nothing else tied to it. No business, no family, purely friendship. So I'm grateful for those two individuals in my life that I can go do fun things with. And it's going to tie into what we're talking about today as we talk about hiring, firing, and promoting people in your life. Other thing we do, order of business. I do this podcast every week to share my ideals with the world. And my goal is to share my ideals with more people. So whether that's going on other people's podcasts, doing keynotes for your company or organization, or doing workshops for big conferences and conventions, that's why I do this. That's why that's what I do this, right? And that it leads to my why in life, which is to change the world one word at a time. This is an opportunity, and there's many other opportunities. So my ask of you in the audience is, as you transition through life and you go through life, when you hear of people that want more, they want a new perspective, send them my way. Send them to the podcast. Share the podcast on social media. Expose me to more people so that I get the opportunity to do those lunch and learns, those conventions, those workshops, keynotes and conferences, and all those things that I love doing. So that's my ask. Share this message, forward the blog to somebody, tag somebody on a social media post, send the podcast, however you listen to it, right? Send a link to a person via text message that could use what we are doing here every week to enhance their life. I keep moving my mic because I got a new mic stand, so I might just be moving my mic all day. Might be part of it. All right, let's get into it. Hire, fire, promote people in your life. It's very simple. I'm a business owner. And in business, I learned 3 years ago that there are only three things really functionality-wise with employees you can do to set the tone, right? Hire, fire, promote. And so it goes back to what I look at in life is math methodology. Everyone knows me, knows I love hillbilly math, a little redneck logic, and Kentucky windage. So it's really simple. Redneck logic is, you ask an educated person, they'll tell you a problem to your solution. Ask a redneck, they'll tell you a solution to your problem. It may or may not work. At least you have the audacity to come up with a solution when you may not always have the facts. Second thing is hillbilly math, right? Let's get the basic information necessary so that we can make a simple decision to get the ball rolling. And the last thing is Kentucky windage, which is let's make adjustments along the way, right? If you're shooting, I'm a military guy, hunting guy, right? So if you're shooting and you're 2 inches left, you don't go and rebuild the gun. You just aim 2 inches to the right and you hit your target every time. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about what it means to hire, fire, and promote people within your life. Because in business, when you see people doing the wrong thing, it's real simple. You don't demote them, don't suspend them, right? Those are math methodologies in which you are dividing. And dividing is less, while subtracting is none at all. You eliminate those people right away. So when you have employees that do not follow your values, do not follow the company, procedures, right? Don't give them less hours or less opportunities to screw up. Give them zero opportunities. Subtract them out of your business. Same thing when you see people are doing the right thing. The best way to do that is to multiply their responsibilities. Hey, you're doing the right thing. We like what you're doing. Let us give you more responsibilities within your role because we see you doing the right thing. Versus, let's go add some more people and maybe train them up, maybe get them the tender, maybe get them the experience that you have. And then the third thing is to hire. Because when you hire somebody else, what you're letting everybody else know is, hey, everyone here is replaceable in life, right? So when you're here, right, we didn't subtract you, you're still here, right? You didn't get promoted, and we're going to hire somebody else to take that position. So we're letting you know that right where you are is right where you fit in. So if you thought that job was for you and we hired somebody else, well, we made it very clear that you were not the right person for that next job. So hire, fire, promote. It's very simple in business. Business is relatively transactional. I pay you, right? I give you money in exchange for your time, your talents, and your abilities. Relatively simple, right? And that so long as I pay you every 2 weeks, and so long as you show up every day and provide me with your time, talents, and abilities and produce a product or a service, we have a transactional relationship where everybody benefits. And certainly it transcends that. Over time, you get to know them, they get to know you. There's a social aspect to it. However, it's very clear on the basic understanding that this is our transaction, because when you stop showing up, I'm going to stop paying you. And if I stop paying you, you're going to stop showing up. So that's our baseline understanding. And if you want more money, I need you to do more for the company. It's again very, very simple. And when you don't meet those expectations, then I'm going to stop paying you. And when you do, I'm going to pay you more. So again, very, very simple. It's very simple in business. When it comes to the civilian world, if we'll call it that, the regular ass world, the society, when it comes to family and friends and neighbors and acquaintances and all that other shit, well, it becomes complicated because you probably don't have a clear understanding of the transaction, right? The you show up to work and I pay you mindset. And so what ends up happening is we end up in these relationships with people and they serve us at some point. That's why we became friends with them, right? Or we were born, right? We have family members we were born into. We had no choice in the matter. Or we're in a more intimate relationship or partnership of sorts with people, very much closer with people. And it served us at one point, and then over time, all of a sudden there's a depreciation of the relationship, and the relationship no longer serves us. And then we have a void. So we have the person filling a spot, and yet there's a void within us. And then we also have other people that come into our lives and we use limiting self-beliefs or limiting language like, oh, I've only known them for a little bit, or I don't trust them yet, or whatever, when they're very promotable, and yet we keep them where they're at. And as adults, going out and finding friends, right, isn't like the thing you do. I'm 40, right? Going out and saying, oh, I'm not just going to go find some new friends, right? My daughter's 10. Every time we go to the park, she's finding new friends, right? So then we're not even hiring new friends or new family or new people. We're kind of stuck because we have this mindset. And I'm saying we as in me, right? Stuck. 40 years old, I'm going to make some new friends this weekend, right? And so how do we do this in the real world? Well, the first step I talk about this in my book, and I was asked by a business associate of mine recently to go over the triple S score. And that's what we're going to talk about today, the triple S score, the simplicity of the person, the satisfaction of what you do, and how stimulating the relationship is. Because I did this 2 years ago off the cuff. I was doing a consulting gig on a Zoom call, and the person was struggling with she had 17 customers. She was a graphic designer. And I came up with this on the spot, the triple S score, and it worked in business. And at the end of the conversation, she took 17 customers and got it down to 8. She had 9 out of her 17 customers that she needed to fire, right? And so you think, okay, well, when you have employees, firing them, well, that's probably relatively simple. Ooh, now you got to fire customers? You're going to say no to someone that pays you? Ooh, how do you do that? And now my ask of you is you find a way to say no to people there is no transaction, people that you've known for years, people that you may have emotional connection with still, or at the very least you had one still. So this is it, right? How simple, let's start with that. How simple is it to work with a person? I talked about my buddy Tyler. This weekend, we went up to the Packer game yesterday. So we had a 2-hour drive up, 2-hour drive back. On Friday night, we went to a concert together, downtown Milwaukee. Relatively simple to work with him. On Friday afternoon, I said, hey, I got the tickets. I'll pick you up on the way downtown because it made more sense for me to pick you up. Cool. I'll be there at 6:30. Show starts at 7. We get there. He gets a slice of pizza. We get in by the second band. We watch 2 bands. We get back in the car. We drive back. Well, that was pretty simple, right? He also asked me 3 weeks ago to go to on a trip with him, a vacation with him. Well, it didn't work on my calendar. He's like, hey, I'm going to the Greenbrier, a place in West Virginia we've gone to together. Hey, I'm going to the Greenbrier in 2 weeks. Are you able? I was like, nope, I can't make it. I got other stuff going on, work and have life and what have you. And he's like, all right, cool. Right? Simple. He didn't hold it against me when I wasn't able to come. And when he wanted to come hang out with me, I made accommodations to make sure it happened. As we're at the concert, we talked about going to the Packer game the next day. And he's like, well, if I drive the Tesla, right, we don't have to worry about gas. It's your tickets. It was my tickets and both things. So at least let me drive, right? And then we can stop at the charging station along the way, get a cup of coffee, and away we go. So that made pretty much sense. And on the way back from the Packer game, I took a little nappy poo in the car, right? That was great. It was simple. It was very, very simple to set things up. And yet there's some people in life where it's like, oh, just call me, or let's arrange something. Or every time you see them, it's like, oh, we should hang out more. But then there's no actual follow through. And like, oh, I miss you. And why don't you ever reach out to me? Or the people that you text, and they never text you back until they need something, or until they're lonely, or until they get into a fight with their significant other, right? Because that's the inverse of simplicity, wherein the conversations always have more meaning or more innuendos or more anything instead of what's straight up and very, very simple. Or my buddy Eric, we threw a party on Friday, PBR and a Porta John. Again, keep it simple. 3 months ago, we said, hey, let's throw a party. We sat down together for an hour with my brothers, 2 hours, a couple months ago, and said, all right, you're in charge of food, you're in charge of drinks, you're in charge of entertainment. All right, everyone's got their responsibilities. Good. A couple text message later, we threw a party, 75 people showed up. Simple. And yet I've seen families that throw parties, and every time they throw a party, they get the same 3 or 4 people, right? There's 8, 10 people in the family. The same 3 or 4 people do the work, and they get mad at the other people that don't do the work. And the people that do the work end up spending all the money, and the people that don't do the work don't want to spend the money. And then there's an argument, and it's like, well, hold on, we're having a birthday party, we're doing a celebration, and nobody can come together and come to a consensus. I know my Aunt Julie, for example. My Aunt Julie, she's a wonderful woman, right? My family party basic simplicity is, do they have shrimp salad? Yes or no? When you have shrimp salad, I will show up and I will have a good party. When there is no shrimp salad, I will not have a good party. Easter last year, there was no shrimp salad at my aunt's house. So I ended up going to my uncle's house, no shrimp salad. I went to my cousin's house, no shrimp salad. I went to my other uncle's house, still no shrimp salad. So I went to 4 houses in the course of an afternoon, and there was no shrimp salad. It was not simple. So I asked my Aunt Julie to make shrimp salad prior to a party on Saturday afternoon. We had a family party of sorts after our party, and guess what? She made shrimp salad. And to a point where she's like, hey, I made enough because I know you're going to want to eat it all week. Simple. And yesterday I sent her a text message. Last night I go, I'm eating shrimp salad 2 nights in a row. Thank you. And she gave me a little, hey, have a great week. I'm glad I could be there for you, right? Simple relationships. So we can see what simple looks like. And yet we often accept complicated relationships in our lives. How stimulating are the things we do together? I stopped drinking about a year and a half ago. And I never really enjoyed the bars. I like going to shows. I like bar hopping. I bartended for years. The idea of sitting in a bar all night, not my thing. I like gambling. I like to go to a casino, right? So I like doing things near alcohol. I don't like going to the bar to watch a game. That's not my thing, right? I got a buddy, that's what he enjoys doing. He does a couple nights a week. He goes to the bar. And since I stopped drinking, I realized I never spend time with that person. I never spend time with them because it's not satisfying. I don't enjoy doing the things I do with them. Now, inverse, take my brothers. My 2 brothers are my best friends. We live next to each other. We love it. My brother Tyler and I, every night at some point, find each other. We live on a farm, right? And we'll either sit down and hang out and chat. We'll sit by the bonfire. We'll play music, maybe go for a walk, talk about life. All those things are significantly more satisfying to me or stimulating to me than going to a bar. And so now I find people, right, where the relationship feeds the soul, feeds what I want to do, right? Does it stimulate places in my brain? Does it give me satisfaction? Or I said I went to the beach. I go to the beach, and at the beach, I end up sitting there for hours. I play volleyball. I love playing volleyball. I also enjoy the people I'm around because I can learn about their lives. How do they parent? How's work going? Right? All the simple things in life that's also stimulating because these are other people that we don't otherwise hang out. We're doing something, an activity that stimulates all of us and what we do. So I go to the beach, and the people are the right people because the activity is stimulating. And yet we hang out with some people in our lives where they're a drag. It's like, oh, but they're family, or we've been friends forever, but I can't stand being there, or I'm going to find an excuse to leave after an hour. And why? Why? What is stopping you from having that conversation? Like, hey, I love spending time with you. It's simple to get on your calendar. It's simple to schedule something. Can we do something that I want to do? Can we do something different? Can we do something better than the same old that I'm already checked out doing? And finally, how satisfying is the relationship? The third step, the third S of the triple S score. How satisfying is the relationship? Do you feel energized and enthusiastic when you walk away? Or you feel defeated and drained? And the first two often give us the product of the third. When I've run this experiment with people, when you got a high number in the first two, you're going to have a high number in the third one. Typically, when you have a low number in the first two, you're going to have a low number in the third one. How do you feel afterwards? I can tell you this weekend after the Packer game, Packers got the W with a backup quarterback, right? A lot of running, 32 rushes for, I think, 256, right? I felt great. We had a simple day. I woke up, we drove, we went to the Packer game, we came home, and that was it. That was my day. What a day. I was satisfied. I got to see the Packers, 83 degrees out. I got a little sun. I made friends to my left and right. When I was with my buddy Tyler, when he wanted to go do something at the game, he went and did his thing. I went and did my thing. We kind of stopped at the same 2 or 3 tailgates along our way. Great day. I am satisfied with that. There's other nights where I go out with people and it's a pain in the ass, or they're not paying attention to me. So now it's not simple because we're not having a one-to-one conversation. It's more like I'm near other people, right? Or we're doing something, but it's not something I want to be doing. It's not something that stimulates parts of my brain. I find myself slowly dying, right? Maybe they're all full of drama. They just want to dump their problems on you. And now I leave the relationship like, God, so glad that's over, right? I'm not looking for the next time. My buddy Tyler, we got another game coming up. 2 months, we're going to another Packer game. It's like, yeah, let's go. Already excited for it, right? We are satisfied in the relationship. And so I tell people, it's very, very simple. Sit down, chicken scratch, piece of paper and a pen, Excel spreadsheet, whatever your jam is, right? Rank people in your life 1 through 5. 1 being very dissatisfied, right? 2 is dissatisfied. 3 is neutral. 4 is satisfied. And 5 is very satisfied, right? Or very, whatever, satisfied, simple, or stimulating. Do that with 20 people in your life. And I guarantee you, I don't know where the number is, right? 15 is the highest score, 3 is the lowest. Somewhere between 3 and 15, right? I'd argue probably between 8 and 12, there's a number. When you rank people and put them in order, where it's very clear, right? These are the people I want to be around. These are the people that open up my ideas. These are the people that make life simple for me. These are the people where I am better when I'm around them. I talked about this a few weeks ago, right? Be grateful for those that make you great. These are the people that make me great. And these people do not make me great. And it's very simple from that point. Start in the bottom. Hold your own boundaries. Don't go out of your way and kill them off. Don't go out of the way and deprive them. Hold your boundaries. And those people, there'll be a natural attrition of those people. Say, no, I only want to be around people that make my life simpler. I want to be around people that stimulate new ideals in my head. I want to be around people and do things that are satisfying to me. And it'll be very obvious who's there. And even within people, you'll be able to fire and possibly promote people. And maybe there's going to be people that are below the threshold that you want in your life. And I highly encourage them, promote them with their life. See what they're doing right and tell them to do more of it. Right? If it's very simple, they text you and they show up on time and you go and do something, but then they're a drag when you get there. Promote them. Say, hey, I am so glad you showed up. I'm so glad you're always available for me. I'm so glad we're off to do this thing. Right? And then find something they're doing that's stimulating. Oh, hey, I like that. Let's do more of that. What if they're sitting there and bitching or complaining, right? The one time they don't complain, like, hey, let's talk about that. Let's have a stimulating conversation. Or, hey, let's do something different. I want to do this thing. They're like, oh, no, I just want to do the same thing we've always ever done. Sounds good. I want to do this thing. And you can either come with me to do this thing because I want to promote you in my life, right? Or I'm going to do this thing with somebody else. Or because I have great self-awareness, I'm confident, and I have great boundaries, I'm going to do this thing by myself because I'm more satisfied doing things by myself than with you, and have that conversation with them. Last week, I was at PT with my finger's getting better, kind of bending a little bit. I was at PT last week, and I was talking to this woman. And I talked about traveling. I just got back. I've been traveling a lot lately. And she's like, when you travel, do you go out to eat and stuff by yourself? I go, yeah, all the time. She goes, really? I go, oh, yeah, I date the shit out of myself. I know what I like. I know when I want to show up. I know what I want to eat. I know where I want to sit. I am completely confident going. She's like, would you go to a movie by yourself? I go, I would. I don't like going to movies at the movie theater. But I'll curl up and watch a movie on my couch by myself rather than with somebody else that's going to take away from my satisfaction. I'll go off and go on hikes by myself. I will date the shit out of myself. I'll go get a pedicure by myself. Right? I'll do all these things by myself rather than with people that are going to take away my energy. And so that's my challenge to you this week. Run the triple S score with 20 people in your life. From there, make the decision. Again, that's the hillbilly math. Get the data. Within the data, find the solution. Maybe there's some people where you're like, man, they're just a drag. I can't figure it out. And then you'll say, oh, wow, what we do is not stimulating. They're not simple to hang out with. They're always canceling. I'm always the one that has to reach out to them. And it gives you that starting point to have that conversation. Hey, Sally, I always reach out to you. You tell me when's a good time right? Because these are the things I like doing. Let me know when you're available. And you may never hear from Sally again. Or she may say, oh my God, you're right. It is good that we hang out. Let's do this thing. Let me take a more proactive role in our relationship. Thank you for telling me how you feel. Thank you for giving me some perspective. So that's the answer this week. Go through life. Utilize the Triple S score to decide how to hire, fire, promote. And then the last thing, Kentucky windage, make adjustments along the way. Give people the grace to be in your life. Give people the grace to recognize your boundary and live within your boundaries. And give them the grace to exit your life. Give them the grace to leave your boundaries. Because that's a reflection of you on the world, not a reflection of them on you. Don't take it personal when people choose not to live around your boundaries. You're not setting expectations for them. You're setting boundaries for yourself. So I thank you for your time. I appreciate you taking time with me today and every day you take your time to work on yourself. This week and always, do the fucking thing. Tell the fucking world and show the fuck up. We'll see you next week.
Through all these miles and trials, all I've learned to do is smile. Is to smile.